Your Life and Sex Island, Chapter 6, The Life and Sex Island, page 219. We were just talking about how our two depressions was very much like what happened on our little Life and Sex Island. I got carried away rating our presidents and showing how the depressions were all caused by too much money in too few hands. Great inequality. Oops! Damn, I almost forgot about our friends on the Life and Sex Island. Remember them? I wonder what is happening there. Let's look. Oh, that's right. The bottom fell out of the boat market. Poor Mike was left owing Trader Mac dozens of rocks of multicolors. Mike's yard was filled with boats that no one could afford. He couldn't give them away, even for one red rock. No one had any rocks to spare. Trader Mike had all of Mike's rocks and all of the rocks that Mike would earn for many years. The malarkey bird tail feathers became nearly worthless too. Mike went back to fishing, even though he had a problem with selling his fish, because everyone used all of their rocks to buy water, the free spring water. At least he could eat the fish. He also loaned one or two boats to people who would fish. In return, he got a small part of their catch. Gosh, isn't that what happened to the stock market in '29? Yes, it is. Inequality was putting too much money in the wrong hands, desperately searching for value where value is already stretched to transparency, and as a result, removing money from the hands that earned it. Oh, wow! That's almost like our savings and loan debacle under Ronnie Reagan. Remember the Gipper? Get government off our back. Get rid of regulations. Cost us taxpayers, you and me, several $billion. If you get rid of regulations, which I am for, you should make stealing a crime, even if the stealing, is done by the rich. But that is not the American way. Oh, and it also smells like the dot-com bubble under Clinton and Bush too. Too much good money in the wrong hands, chasing bad money in the same wrong hands, desperate to find investment for excess, wrongfully gained funds earned by selling the free spring water. Holy cow! There again is our housing bubble under the decider. 1/3 of the pie going to 1% of the people, and 1/3 going to 90% of the people. It can't work, folks. It ain't gonna never ever work. Not for long, it ain't a-gonna. Don't listen to the professional liars at the Heritage Foundation, the Ludwig van Mises Institute, the American Enterprise Institute, the Hudson Institute, etc., etc. We're forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. And in 2007-8, we were blowing an oil bubble, the most colorful. Who cares if it destroys the economy? Certainly not the rich who can only benefit from greater poverty and misery. Aren't those bubbles colorful? The '29 stock market bubble, the savings and loan bubble, the dot-com bubble, the housing bubble, the current stock market bubble, and the oil bubble. All different, all the same. They are really boils on the body economic caused by too much money in the hands of too few, chasing more greed with too little value. We know how to prevent them, but we won't. It is un-American. It is radical Robin Hood socialism. You remember Joe McCarthy with his creeping socialism? Him from my hometown who damn near destroyed this country? And we all said, never again. Then we rewarded his cold Quixotes, the mad knights errant Kennedy, Nixon, and Reagan. Never again. We could hardly wait. It's the American way. Well, on the Life and Sex Island, things just kept getting worse. Soon, no one except Trader Mac had any rocks to speak of. Soon, almost no one could buy even water. Joe's kid had figured out a way of shaking the leaves in the morning to get a few drops of water, but it consumed a lot of time. Since few were buying water and almost no one had any rocks, Trader Mac didn't need as many guards and marketers, nor even so many truth poets. So naturally, he let them all go. Nice way of saying he fired them. Besides, Trader Mac had people working off their debts so that he got his labor for free. The poor nuts had to keep borrowing money to live, and so darn, they may never get over being free. Sort of like the workers at the Pullman Palace Car Company, or half of the people in 2009. Potato diggers could not sell their potatoes, except a few to Trader Mac, who paid whatever he wanted, because everyone was so desperate for rocks, they took whatever he offered. Still, according to the few truth-found poets who remained working, people weren't so bad off. They weren't starving, although their diets were drastically restricted because the mahi-mahi fishers were only eating mahi-mahi, and the potato diggers were only eating potatoes. And they managed to squeeze enough liquid from their foods to survive the man-made drought. Well, let's leave it there for now. You've heard of the Roaring Twenties. Well, hold still. They are close kin to the booming 90s and the early aughts. First, the Republicans were in power both times. Don't hang up on me, please. I'm not saying one party is good and another is bad. Remember, damn it, I don't do good or bad. It's the people who wear the feathers that make the difference, and the people who wear the headdresses are not branded. They can change costume at the first sign of Trader Mac paying more. As Lincoln said, these two guys fought so long and hard that they ended up in each other's clothes. Please don't look that up. I'm doing that from memory. Yet the party of Lincoln was not the party of the 20s or of the 90s, but the party of the 20s was the party of the 90s. In the 20s and in the 90s and early aughts, business had won the battle. Unions and workers were defeated absolutely. Business had total control of the boardroom, the office, the factory floor, the media, public monologue, Congress, the presidency, and the Supreme Court, with no input or interference from workers, blue or white collar, or from the people, who the hell they think they are. And there were and are grand sports teams, clever entertainers, and powerful moneyed religions to keep the public's mind off what was going on. Sorry, I have to stop again. I'll be back. Please join me. And if you please, purchase the book, Your Life in Sex Island, by clicking the link in the description below. Thank you.